What's up, Karizzma crew? This is your captain speaking. Based on my previous video covering classic map remakes, it seems a lot of you are also really into classic map remakes, so I've decided to make another video covering some more maps. I'm gonna try and avoid maps I already covered in my previous video, even if there are better versions of them out now, just to keep things fresh. It's been a few months since Forge released, and there are a lot more maps that have been made since then, so let's jump right in. First, we have a remake of Halo 5's Plaza, and right off the bat you can tell that it's very similar looking visually. What I love about this remake is that it keeps a lot of the same jumps as the original, except for the ones that required the mid-air stabilization thing that Halo 5 had. Maybe it's missing a car or two, but you know, it's been years, I could be misremembering. All around, a great remake though. Next is Guardian from Halo 3. Uneeq made a sick version of Guardian before Forge was even officially released, and it's only gotten better after Forge's release. The map is visually stunning and very faithful to the original, and that is definitely the theme to this map. Sprint is even disabled on the map, so it genuinely plays very authentically to the original. If you haven't yet, definitely give it a try with your friends, or challenge someone to a one-on-one, just like the good old days. Next we have Ivory Tower. I played two different versions of this map, and both of them sort of had their own pros and cons. The first is an interesting take on the map. It's got more bright and vibrant colors than the original, and yet the layout is still very faithful. I did find some weird flashy textures, but that could just be my graphics card, or another issue on my end. Also, the skybox was a weird choice and seems a bit out of place, but you know, that's not really an issue of playing on the map itself. The second version had more toned down colors, and I preferred it visually, and also appreciated the skybox a bit more. That being said though, it played just as well as the first one, so I think it's just a matter of preference. You can't really go wrong with either. After that, I had a chance to check out two versions of the classic Halo 2 map, Ascension. The first was a one-to-one creation of the map. It looks so good, especially with the desert background. I liked how Zenith in Halo 2 Anniversary played, but the skybox, although pretty, was super noisy, if you know what I mean. It was borderline distracting. The second had a slightly more modified layout, and even had a grapple shot to potentially hide in some cheeky spots. I'm not particularly good at them, but y'all can definitely give it a try. Certain weapons like the BR were also on proper weapon crates, which was kinda cool to see. This version had a more metallic look than the first, but it doesn't look bad in any way. Next we have Charnel Valley, a remake of Halo 2's Burial Mounds. The layout looks pretty good here, and for the most part it plays quite well in Infinite. However, the overall color of the map is way too bright. It honestly kinda hurts my eyes after looking at it for a long time. So if I could suggest something, I would definitely say the colors need to be a bit more dull or toned down. Also, for some reason when I was roaming around the map, a vehicle just randomly despawned in front of me, so not sure what that was all about. What I really liked about this map though is a change to the sword spawn. The map actually has a foreigner themed door on each side, and the sword is on a weapon rack. It's a nice small little touch, it's pretty cool. Next we have Sanctuary for Halo 2. There's a reason why almost every Halo game either has people forging this map or has it officially remade by the developers. It's a timeless classic that always plays really well, and this version is no exception. It's just a beautiful remake and visually looks very nice, and that even includes the skybox. It's obviously not as crazy as the Halo 2 Anniversary remake, but it doesn't really need to be. Not a lot to say here, but overall a fantastic remake. Next we go to Liwatoni Station, which is a remake of Terminal from Halo 2. This is labeled as a work in progress, so we have to keep that in mind. Terminal was a map that always mesmerized me as a kid, with a random moving train and the urban layout. I could spend hours just trying to dodge the train or finding a way to stop it, knowing full well that it probably was impossible to do so. So it won't come as a surprise that when I loaded up into the map, the first thing I did was jump onto the track and check if the train was operating. And sure enough, it was. It feels like it's even faster than the original version, and it definitely can kill you. Most of the structures around the map are faithful to the original, except maybe the garage area, but again, I could be just misremembering because it's been so long since I've played on the map. But even if there are any issues, it's still a work in progress and can certainly be fixed. Also, side note, I had a fun time securing the trucks. I don't know what was going on with the physics there. After that, I jumped into a remake of Foundation from Halo 2. It's funny because I have so many memories playing Infection on this map, and that's even before Infection was an official game mode. We would basically just play with Scout's Honor, and once we were killed by a zombie, we would have to manually change teams. What a time to be alive. But getting back to the map, the layout overall is pretty good, and it plays decently, but the bases are a bit weird. For some weird reason, they have these massive gaps that you can just jump out for whatever reason. Not sure what's up with that, but otherwise it's a pretty solid remake. Next is, Veto, it's Snowbound. Alright, all jokes aside, this remake of Snowbound looks pretty good, and aside from a few minor changes, it's fairly close to the Halo 3 Classic. It manages to look good visually as well, and as an added bonus, the out-of-bound turrets also function as intended, so that's really cool. I wonder if there's a way to trick it though. I guess we would need to experiment a bit more to see if there is. That being said though, it's a well-designed remake. Coming off of Snowbound, we move to another snow map, but it's not quite what you'd expect. It's High Ground from Halo 3, but with a Christmas winter theme. Uneeq really takes it to the next level with this remake. The map layout is fantastic and very faithful to the original, despite having a winter twist. There's a giant Christmas tree, the weapons are being held by snowmen, and there's even a little Easter egg by the beachside with snowmen playing some hockey, and it really pulls the theme together. So this remake definitely gets bonus points for putting a cool twist on the map. Next we have Zanzibar, a map that I spent so much time hanging out and having fun with friends. You would spend hours super bouncing on the map or messing around in custom lobbies. Hell, sometimes we would just catch up on life while driving around the beachside. But back to the remake. The map's layout is solid and visually looks great. The beachside especially looks very nice. Just like Ascension though, the giant wheel doesn't work, so it kinda kills the flow of the map. But again, that's completely understandable. Hopefully in the future people can figure out how to make it work. I also found some cables to stand on, and I'm pretty sure they weren't possible in the original or any of the remakes. After that we moved to Skyline, one of my favorite maps in Halo 4. A simple layout that was so fun for both casual and competitive games. The original map had a really fun, skyline, which obviously can't be replicated in Forge, but the one used on the map is still very good looking. It looks like some sort of mining facility. The map also gets bonus points from me because of the moving elements you can see from the outside of the windows. Both of the layout and the visuals of the map are top notch. Great work here. Up next is Cosmic Garden, a remake of Halo 4's map Relay or Impact. This is probably not the best map on the list, but Relay and Impact were solid basic maps in Halo 4. Although I would much rather see Adrift or Abandon, it's still cool to see a less popular map show up on Forge. The visuals on the map are, interesting I guess, with the giant flowers, but otherwise it looks decent enough. The map has huge problems with barriers though. You can literally break out of the map and there are no kill barriers to stop you, so that's definitely something that needs to be fixed. Then we moved to Coliseum from Halo 5. It was one of the most popular maps in Halo 5, so it's no surprise that Forgers made a remake of it in Halo Infinite. The map looks and plays very similar to Halo 5's version, even down to the more bright color scheme. I found some hiding spots, but nothing game breaking, although I'm sure they could be easily found by someone with more experience and, skill in skill jumping and breaking out of the map. Overall though, it's a great remake. And finally, I went ahead and checked out Boardwalk from Halo Reach. Overall, this is a pretty cool remake. It looks very similar to the original, and the layout is pretty faithful as well. The map also has some soft kill barriers to avoid any funny business from people attempting to break out of the map. The buildings off in the distance seem a bit off, and maybe another Forge canvas would have been better, but I'm nitpicking here. It doesn't really affect the gameplay on the map. The map itself is pretty dang good. So those were some of the classic map remakes I found. Let me know which one was your favorite in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, Superman punch that like button and subscribe for more Halo content. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Subscribe to Kaptain Karizzma.